Hey guys, it's Brigitte with San Diego Seed Company, and ignore my little cold here. I sound like I have a bucket on my head, but we are in March. Oh my gosh, it is time to do all of your March seed starting. And what's so exciting about March is, unlike February, all of a sudden in zone 9 and 10, we are catapulted into spring temperatures. You like that cute little pun I wrote there? Full spring ahead? Haha, I'm so funny. Anyways, literally next week here in San Diego, we're gonna hit 82 degrees. We haven't seen that all the way since the fall. Now I know it's hard to believe in zone 9 and 10 because it's chilly, it's been rainy, it doesn't really seem like spring, but it's gonna happen really, really quickly. And so you wanna be on your game and starting seeds for your warm season crops. So here's a list of some of the things that you'll be starting if you want to get a maximum amount of starts ready and in your garden for this warm season. I've got maters I put in the ground. See, baby maters. They're little, so. Okay, so if you're a beginning gardener in zone 9 and 10 and you're like, what do I plant? There's so many options. Here's a quick and dirty cheat sheet for you. So you're starting from seed, things that you're gonna plant out into your garden like tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants. You're also going to start direct sowing as soon as the soil is warm enough, which is going to be in just a few weeks, beans, corn, cucumbers, and squash. Also, I didn't put on there, but melons, they're in that list as well. The other thing you can't forget is all of the flowers. I mean, take a look around, everything is blooming, and you wanna have plenty of flowers in your warm season garden as well. So things like cornflower, cosmos, gaillardia, gomphrena, two of my favorites, hollyhock, hyacinth bean, which is a beautiful ornamental bean, sunflowers, marigold, sage, scabiosa, and zinnia. And that's just a short little list. There's a lot more, and if you're curious, we have a calendar that tells you all of the things that you're gonna wanna start each month. So we go to March here. The highlighted flower here is actually dahlias. We're gonna have a video on that later, but if you come down to the bottom left-hand side, you can actually see we talk about all of the vegetables, the flowers, and the herbs and perennials. If you look closely, there's a key that can help you understand, is this the first sowing of the year or the last? So that'll help take out some of the confusion, especially for those of you who are not from zone 9 and 10. Maybe you're from Michigan and you move to San Diego or Southern California. It's gonna help take out some of the confusion for you in our gardening season. Okay, so to go a little bit in deeper into why I have these things separated on the board, let's talk about tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants. Specifically, I chunked them all together because, well, you guessed it, they're all in the same family, in the Solanaceae family, and they all like to be started in trays or 6-packs and then planted out into the garden. And one of the reasons is because they do like heat or warmth. They will germinate a lot quicker if they have consistent warm temperatures. In particular, peppers really benefit from having a heat mat underneath them. So if you were to direct sow them, you wouldn't be able to control the temperatures to be warm enough consistently for good germination. The other reason why you usually start these guys in protected trays and plant them out is because the seed's pretty small and typically kind of expensive. So you want to start them in trays and plant them out once they get to a nice good size. I separated out beans, corn, cucumber, and squash because they are typically direct sown. So they're bigger seed, less expensive seed, and they germinate pretty easily in soil that is relatively warm. So any of our spring temperatures should be warming up the soil now, and they will germinate. I didn't put watermelon on there because it was a little bit of a mental slip, in part because watermelon really likes warm temperatures, and if you plant them too early, they don't do a whole lot until it gets warmed up. So you actually can start with your beans and your corns and your cucumber and squash, and once you get all that work done towards the end of the season, then you can think about transplanting or direct sowing your watermelon plants. So if you're curious, like, when is my soil warm enough? Lucky for you guys, we actually put on the back of our seed packs the ideal soil temperatures, and you can buy a soil thermometer and stick it in the ground and figure out what that soil is. I've never really done that because I can just know that during that season we're typically going to have warm enough temperatures to get these crops started, and I've been doing it for a long time, so not necessarily needed for me, but those geeks of you out there, you can look on the back of the seed pack and know exactly the ideal temperature for quick and easy germination. So if you're in zone 9 and 10, you might be looking at things in your garden that have overwintered. Here's a really good example. This is a pepper plant. I planted it last spring. It's been in the ground and it's already starting to put on new leaves. That is a cue from nature telling you that, hey, the soil temperatures are warming up, because this pepper plant is coming out and starting to grow new leaves in response to the warmer air temperatures and soil temperatures. So this is a key notification to you to get your spring garden going. Now, if you didn't overwinter plants, that's okay. These were really special to me, and so I really wanted to keep them for a couple more years if possible. You can have your new started pepper plants, tomatoes, and eggplants, and get those into the ground. This is a beautiful looking size pepper. I actually have had this outside hardening off a little bit, getting it ready to go into the ground. Really beautiful. And you can see over here, I actually have some early tomatoes that have gone in the ground as well. You're probably thinking, well, wait, you said to start your seeds in March and you already have tomatoes in the ground. Well, some of us can't help it. It's really addicting to start seeds, and you can start seeds earlier for tomatoes than March, but I'm telling you, they're going to grow incredibly painfully slow because the temperatures are going to be cooler. Right now is the best time for quick, easy germination. Your plants are going to grow very quickly because the hours of sunlight are getting longer, the temperatures are warming, and that way you can get nice big plants into the ground that have the best chance of survival. Okay, so there you have it. That is March, one of the most buzzing, electric months in the gardening year. So many things are blooming and spring is on its way, or really it's here. Those are the things that I recommend you start for zone 9 and 10, but we want to hear from you guys. What are you starting in the garden? What have you experimented with? What have you had luck with? What have you failed with? We want to hear from you.